All right, we need to talk about January 29th, because on this one single day, three things happened that seemed completely disconnected. We've got a plane crash, a mysterious ship being released, and a huge government payout. Separated by thousands of miles, they look like random noise. But what if they're not? What if you line them all up? Well, that's when a very different picture starts to take shape.
So let's open the first file. We're starting in Baramati, India. File 01, the black box. A private jet goes down, and it's carrying a very important politician, Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar. The official story? Bad weather. But, the official story is rarely the whole story.
So here's what we know. It's a Learjet 45, a top-of-the-line jet, and it's coming in for a landing. But eyewitnesses, people on the ground, they said it wasn't a normal landing. They saw it spiraling. Look, powerful people don't just fall out of the sky. It just doesn't happen like that. And get this, the airport they were flying into? It's barely an airport. It's listed as having uncontrolled airspace. There's no real air traffic control, just some cadets from a flight school. It's missing basic navigation equipment, the runway literally has a hump in it, and there wasn't even a proper fire truck there. So you have to ask yourself, does that sound like the kind of place you'd send a VIP in bad weather? This all comes down to one thing, the black box. The little device that records all the flight data and every word said in the cockpit. They found it, and now it's being analyzed in a lab. This box holds the truth, or at least the version of the truth they're going to want us to hear. So I'm asking you directly, do you believe it was just a terrible combination of bad weather and a really bad runway? Or does this feel like a story that's a little too neat, a little too convenient? Just keep that question in your head. Okay, so while investigators are picking through that crash site in India, our timeline jumps. We're moving thousands of miles away to open file 02, the Grinch. The mystery is now shifting from the air to the open ocean. First, you need to know about Russia's shadow fleet. It's basically this ghost navy of oil tankers, all operating off the books, moving sanctioned oil around the globe, totally ignoring international law. And one of the most well-known of these ships has a name you can't make up, the Grinch. Now, check out this timeline. The U.S. sanctions the ship. A year later, the French Navy, we're talking a major NATO power here, they catch it. They detain it. It's a huge victory. But then, just 7 days later, on January 29th, the very same day as that crash in India, it's just released. It sails off. How on earth does that happen? And this brings us to file 03, the legal glitch. And honestly, this is the big wait, what moment in all of this. You've got a sanctioned Russian ship caught red-handed. So why in the world would you just let it go? And listen to this. This is a direct quote from a phone call between France's President Macron and Ukraine's President Zelenskyy. Macron told him they were forced to let the ship go. He didn't say we chose to or we decided to. He said forced. Now, who has the power to force France to do something like that? And the official reason they gave for this unbelievable turnaround? A legal glitch. Apparently a loophole in their own laws. Oh, they promised to fix it for the future, sure. But for this one very important tanker, on this one very important day, their hands were just tied. A legal glitch. Right. I mean, come on. Okay, prepare for some serious whiplash here, because at the exact same time the Grinch is sailing free, we're opening file 04, the $1,000 gift. On the very same day, January 29th, the spotlight suddenly shifts to Washington, D.C. for a massive feel-good announcement. $1,000. That's the magic number. Because on January 29th, the White House confirms all the details of a brand new program. They're going to drop $1,000 into an investment account for almost every single child in America. They're calling them Trump accounts. It's a $1,000 gift straight from the U.S. Treasury. The timing is, well, it's pretty incredible, isn't it? When things are getting tense internationally, what better way to dominate the news cycle? Is it a perfect distraction, or is it maybe something more? And don't get me wrong, this is a huge deal. It covers kids born across a 4-year window, it's tax-free, and you have major corporations, the big guys like JP Chase and Intel, all jumping on board to match the money for their employees. This is a massive, positive news story. The exact kind of story you'd want out there if you needed everybody to be looking in the other direction. Okay, so let's put the pieces on the board. Piece 1, a key political figure is suddenly gone in India. Piece 2, A valuable Russian asset is mysteriously allowed to escape. Piece 3, a giant headline-grabbing cash giveaway to distract the American public. You have to ask, what is this all building toward? Which brings us to our final file, the Trojan horse. Because here it is, the last piece of the puzzle that dropped on January 29th. The Kremlin, very publicly, reconfirms its invitation for President Zelenskyy to come to Moscow for peace talks. So this is what it all comes down to. Is this a real offer for peace, or is it a trap, a Trojan horse? Is it possible that everything else that happened on January 29th was designed to set the stage, to apply pressure, to create diversions, all to lure the president of Ukraine to Moscow? Now, it seems like President Zelenskyy saw the danger, because the very next day he shot back with this quote, basically saying, "You want to talk peace? Fine. Come to Kyiv. I'm inviting you if you've got the guts." He's calling their bluff, plain and simple. But that invitation from Moscow, it's still on the table. The pressure is still on. The whole board has been set, and the one question that's hanging in the air is, will they find a way to force his hand? Will he walk into the trap? We're going to find out tomorrow.